Alright, so for the first video in this series of tutorials about kite making, I've chosen to use an open source kite called the Return, and that's available at this website, carlo.com. And you can see I've been there a number of times, it jumps to it. And he hosts plans for a number of kites. All of these are good choices, but I've not made the Return, and it's also a good kite for a first-time builder in that it's got not too many panels, and I really like that it has just straight seams, so you really only have to run your panels straight through the sewing machine, no curves or corners to deal with in this particular build, which is a good thing when you're just learning your machine. And then it's also important to point out that this particular kite has plans that are some of the most detailed, maybe the most detailed plans of any open source kite I've seen on the internet. And they are actually more detailed than most of the ones I've put together from other plans just for my own use, which makes it great to learn on. I'll show you the plan. This is the plan that you're going to print out in full size. You want to get this at your local Kinko's. You can order from OfficeDepot.com is where I've been getting some of mine, but you want to make sure you specify very clearly that the plan needs to be printed at 100%. Down here along the bottom of the side, you see there's a scale here, and that gives you something to measure when you get the printout to make sure that it is exactly 100%, because you're going to be laying out your sail and gluing it up or taping it up, however you decide to do it. But you're going to be doing that on top of this plan, and then you'll be using it to put everything together. Another reason I like this is because the center panel in the middle of the kite is one piece. Many open source, or maybe I think all the ones I've made up to this point, have a seam that runs straight down the spine, and that always leaves some question. There's some ambiguity in the plans, how the overlap should be, and some of them have a bend at the bottom or a piece cut out that causes a curve in the spine, and we're not going to deal with any of that here. And then you see over here the plans have bridle diagram and dimensions, and it talks about the frame size, and it talks about different spars you can use, and we'll be building a standard one. If we go back here, you can see the recommended standard framing is with SkyShark P200s and 5PT, and we'll talk about that later when I have a camera up to show you actual frame materials. And so this is a great website, and there's a lot of detailed inserts here with instructions, so definitely take a look over this. Now, to keep this video under 5 minutes, I think we'll scroll down here and we'll talk about the color scheme real quick. There's a Colorizer. These are built by another Gone with the Wind forum member, and I can't remember the handle or the name of the individual doing this, but I think those are his initials there. And since we're doing a standard, I like a little bit of a darker scheme. Instead of using white, I'm going to start with silver, and I've already figured this out, so I'll just show you quick what I intend to do. But anyone getting ready to build a kite should, if there is a Colorizer, either make your own or find one online and play around with it, because it's really handy. And these are most of the colors of ripstop material that are available. Now, I actually just ordered some teal. I thought teal was discontinued, but it turns out there was some available, and I haven't gotten it yet, but I think it's probably about like this from what I've used in the past. And then the last thing that I'll explain, for this particular build, one technique we'll do is we'll put black borders around the color panel here, which helps eliminate the kind of cloudy overlap that you see between seams. And it always looks a little bit weird when you go from a color to a grayscale, and it's not bad if you overlap the seams correctly, but it'll be one more technique, and I like to have the black border on the color just to make it pop a little more. So if you get a chance, use your Colorizer, and stay tuned for the next tutorial, which will be some actual video. We'll go over the plans and maybe take a look at my shop, which is a disaster area, but you'll get the idea. We'll start making some templates. All right, see you soon.